start us off by telling us your thoughts on the Scout Hyper?
Yeah, I sure can. And let me actually start off by telling you the level of interest from the community, because we did ask a survey question about the Scout Hyper. So the level of interest, you could either choose high, medium, low, or I don't know what that is. 13% voted high, so not a ton. 25% voted medium. 39% voted low, and then 24% don't know what it is. I'll start off by saying I'm not like in the details with too many mechanics of the gym. Typically just look at like what do I like to use and what's best for home gym owners. I'm not someone that's gonna say, oh yeah, it works your lower back to better than anything else in the entire world. But I do want to say that the reverse hyper movement has, without question, saved my back. I have been injured several times. Just using it has quickly reversed some of that pain. And it happened just a couple weeks ago. I was sick. I slept for a crazy amount of time and got hurt. Like I just like, I couldn't hardly move. That was almost the worst part of being sick. I don't know why my back was hurting so bad, but first couple days I worked out, got the Scout Hyper out, and felt pretty relieved. So I don't know, Jake, I'd be curious as somebody with a background like yours, if you're a believer in the reverse hyper or not.
I think it has some use. Is it my go-to? Not necessarily. However, I do think it has some use. The problem with the reverse hyper that I have is that it relies so much on momentum and gravity. And so when it comes to like what I like to do, which is like more so directed towards skill focused strength, like the deadlift or hypertrophy of the back, it doesn't really tick any of those boxes. However, when it comes to the context, like what you explained, it makes total sense as to why it probably helped you out, man. Because if you weren't moving a ton over the last week when you were sick, and then you got into there and you started getting some like meaningful hip extension and just moving and loosening up, then it would make sense as to why it helped. But I do think it has use. It just doesn't fall into the realms of like where I play the most with my training.
Got it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Hyper extensions they have that that stigma of being that big clunky tabletop where you rest your phone and your drinks, right? They're super helpful, but you're not going to use them all the time. The Scout Hyper for a garage gym, for a basement gym, is awesome. Lean it up against the wall, bring it out when you're ready to use it. Yes, you get some rock in there when you get the heavier weight and the momentum, but for what it is and the price tag for under $400, the Scout Hyper's legit.
I'll just add to that. I'll just say for most people who aren't looking to max out their reverse hyper, the Scout Hyper is probably the best option for most people with a home gym. Like Adam mentioned, it's for most people, it's probably not worth it considering the amount of space they have if they have to use a traditional reverse hyper. So the Scout Hyper is usually the choice for a lot of people who want the option but don't want it to take up the precious space. I'll just add quickly that it really just takes a minute or two to set it up and fold it back. It takes up just about a foot of wall space, maybe a little more. And then for under $400 before shipping, it's not too bad. So for the home gym population,
yeah, and if you really want one right
big
now,
fans of it.
You can't get one. So currently back ordered. So you need to get on the notify list on Rogue and wait for it. So I would like one currently, and I had to sign up for the back order list recently.
Jake, have you ever tried this?
I haven't, and you know what's funny? I actually just Googled it to look at it. Dude, I love that you can fold it up. That's sick. Especially for like the utility of it. Yeah. That's freaking dope. It's cool that they made a version that you could fold up and store away easily.
Well, only 13% have a high interest, so we'll see how
these
that
guys have caused it to back order this 13%.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when that thing first came out because it's recent. I was guessing prices in my head with a buddy of mine, and we were doubling the price of what we thought it was going to be, and it came out, $400, or right now I think it's like $365 before shipping, and with that price point, it's awesome.
It's also not made in America though, so that's part of it.